Today I'm going to do a deep dive into how SunPower generate all their leads so that you can steal and leverage their ideas and implement them into your own solar company. Or if you're a solar agency, you can implement these learnings into your own client's work. So with that short introduction, let's have a look at SunPower. So first thing we're going to start with is SunPower's Facebook ads and their ad creatives, ad text, so on and so forth. Then we'll move on to landing pages, Google ads, and all the subtle nuances that go into each individual kind of piece to their marketing. With that said, I've done a whole bunch of contracting breakdown videos, be it SunPower for solar and many other large contractors. If you're interested in this type of learning, jump into that playlist. There'll be a link to that in the description below, and you'll find a plethora of material. So here we can see SunPower's Facebook ads. We see 52 potential ads to look at the moment, and we see that they have heavy use of imagery. So they don't use a great deal of video. And another thing, I don't have the greatest eye for Photoshop, but it looks like they do use Photoshop. So it just goes to show that you don't need really honed in professional photography. You can take photography that you've got of finished jobs, and that is by and large the best, because what looks real is interpreted as real from the end user. But if you don't have any photography done, go out and get it, or you can use Photoshop, but I don't think it looks the greatest. So moving forward with that, we see that they use a lot of the same text here, a lot of the same headlines as well. Home solar never looked so good. And we see that kind of recurring theme with the majority of the ads. They do have two other primary themes of their ads. One is a financial backed theme. So this one's trying to come across as a native ad. So it's solar news, breaking news. Homeowners are getting the best solar panels for as low as $79 per month. They do constantly say the best solar panels. Now, I'll come back to that because they don't do a really good job of substantiating that claim. But moving forward, the other big claim that they have is over 5,000 five-star reviews. Best company, SunPower, get your free solar savings quote today. Now, if we have a look at the text, because they do use a lot of the same text. So going solar, it looks great on your roof. So we're seeing that the aesthetic part or the aesthetic emotional allure of solar here is being played at in a couple of different ways. One, with their imagery. So they're showing very nice homes, potentially some color manipulation with Photoshop. I don't have the greatest eye for that. Maybe someone else can drop a comment in the comment section below whether I'm right or wrong with that. They also touch upon it, home solar never looked so good. So there's two aspects to solar in regards to this aesthetic appeal. One is that solar panels can look a little bit awkward on homes, depending upon the design of the roof, so on and so forth. The other one is that it is a status symbol. So it's like, pat me on the back, how good am I? I've got solar. Now you kind of can't say that like everyone's going to think you're a better person. Get solar, because that'll come across as tacky. So they're saying it in an indirect way, in order to allow the prospect here to draw that conclusion themselves. And any conclusion that has that a prospect or an individual, for that matter, has concluded themselves is much more powerful than any form of belief or conclusion that's enforced upon them. So when it comes to this one here with over 5,000 reviews, where are these 5-star reviews? Are they on Google? Are they on Facebook? Are they on some other third-party platform? It helps a great deal to try and substantiate that, to prove that this is true. Yes, SunPower are a very large company, and if anyone is in the market for shopping for solar, they're most likely going to come across SunPower at some level. So it could be well assumed that these guys probably do have that many, and I can give them the credit for that, even though I haven't seen any evidence of it. I think that's a weak way to go about it, and I think that if they were to substantiate the claim and enforce it and provide evidence to the 5,000 plus 5-star reviews, they would have a better click-through rate, a lower CPC, a better conversion rate, which would all result in more leads at a lower cost. So another really good ad that they have is this one here. Now, want the most efficient solar panels on the market? Get started with a free online savings estimate. It's got a it's got an offer in it. So it's a free calculation of what they will save with solar. That's very much entering one of the conversations already happening in the prospect's mind. The other one is the visual representation. Now, I would safely assume, and I hope, and I've got my fingers crossed, that they're not using this thumbnail image as the thumbnail image for the video, because as the video plays, now we've just watched a very small component, about 8 seconds of this video, and this would definitely be the better image, albeit I've cut it off a little bit earlier before this is fully built out so we can read it properly. But we see here the red shows that these people are paying $120+ per month for their bill, but this one's -5. They're actually getting money back. This is elements of curiosity. It's like, well, how are they getting -5? Like, what goes into that? And like, I've got people that live around me. Are we all paying, $100+, $120 to $150+ per power per month? And yet there are people, so the people that I drive past in my neighborhood that have got solar panels, they're actually paying zero or like potentially getting money back. So I think that this is actually a very interesting ad creative and something that is not terribly difficult in order to create yourself. So they've just found a neighborhood shot, and again, Photoshop could have played a part here. They've just placed solar panels on this roof in order to like substantiate, the financial claims that they're making here. But I think it's a great ad that's very easy to put together and could be a really good winner, to be honest. Very well done here. So another element that they have in their marketing is congruency and personalization. So a lot of their ad creatives will call out a particular audience from a geographical area. In this instance, it's Florida. So what they do is that they have a congruent system. So they have the ad creative, then they have the landing page, and the ad creative will say Florida and call out the residents of Florida, and the targeting of that ad will go out to people in Florida. And here we'll have, in terms of the landing page, we'll have the landing page specifically personalized to speak to people in Florida. And skipping through this ad, we see the exact same thing once again. We also see the state, and we see it in a textual reference as well. Now, another one that they have running, and this is, I think this one's a little bit older, so it's been running since June 10th. Today's September 4th, I think, or 5th, that I'm shooting this video. So this one's been running for a while. Again, it's native. A little bit awkward to be native when you have branding in it. So they've got like a newspaper headline, etc. And then they paint the picture of in Texas, and even though I'm from Australia, I visit the United States 2 or 3 times a year. Texas do have power issues, power outage issues. So they're hitting that native ad angle to say like this is like newsworthy, or this is actually in the news, and they're leveraging that topical nature of those power outages within Texas. Again, we see that personalization down to the geography level of Texas power outages, and that'll go onto the landing page as well. And with that being said, let's actually have a look at the landing pages. So this is pretty much their go-to landing page for both Google ads and Facebook ads. Now, not all their Facebook ads go to a landing page. They do use instant forms, which is a fantastic mechanism in order to capture all your conversion data within the Facebook platform, which will allow the Facebook automated bidding strategies kind of thing. That's kind of like a bit more of a Google phrasing, but will allow like the Facebook algorithm to help hone in on your prospects in a far more targeted way, helping you get better click-through rates, lower CPCs. Not always those two things. Those things can be a little bit separate, but ultimately resulting in more leads at a lower cost, ideally. So you can actually pay a little bit higher CPCs and still result in a lower cost per lead. But giving that Facebook that conversion data definitely helps you get more conversions at a lower cost. So the first thing I want to point out that these guys do really well, and I also do for my clients, is a form of call tracking. Now, I'm not going to dig into exactly what kind of call tracking they're doing, but we'll see the phone number here, and I'll just click another tab, and we see that the phone number has changed just ever so slightly. And what this allows to do is a tremendous kind of mechanism that will help your marketing in so many different ways, because even though that this whole landing page is primarily trying to get people to fill out this form, there still is a good portion of people that will will make a phone call. So in general, the rough rule of thumb that I have for most contractors, and this isn't always the case for solar though, is that 50 to 70% of leads are still phone calls. So it's very important to be able to have phone call tracking in order to know which keywords. So this is not just for Facebook here, but what keywords, what ads, what kind of targeting, so on and so forth, is producing you conversions. Also, you can also start to drill down on the attribution of like what keywords, what ads, so on and so forth, landing pages, etc., actually produce qualified phone calls. So it's not always about trying to generate more leads, but can we generate more qualified leads? So instead of generating, say, 250 leads per month, do we just generate 150, but they're all at a higher level of qualification? So at the end of the month, when we evaluate how many qualified leads did we get, the 250 that is just broad spectrum, shotgun approach, may not be the best approach. But digging into this landing page, and I can spend a little bit more time on it in this one because it's going to cover both bases of Google ads and also Facebook ads. So we see here, we just got branding logo, save more with the top rated home solar company in the country, right? This one is unsubstantiated in my opinion. Like, I don't see anything that helps substantiate this claim above the fold. So I haven't scrolled down just yet. And I'm doing this pretty much on the fly. There's a few pauses, but I haven't looked at the bottom of this landing page yet. So we might see some form of evidence to support this. But at this stage, unsubstantiated. They also could have, and they do it on some of them, but they definitely could have personalization. So when referencing Texas, you could say company in Texas or company in Florida, because we've seen Florida-based ads and we've seen Texas-based ads. Now, we also see here, start now with a free online solar saving estimate. Now, I find that this section here is a call to action, but it's not emphasized in any way, shape, or form. This headline here should be encapsulated within this call to action box, or the actual mechanism box. That way, it would be a much more emphasized way to say that start now for your free online solar savings estimate. It would probably look equally as good, but it would definitely have more transference in terms of value because it would be more likely read by the end user. On mobile, possibly could be a slightly different case, just because of like the restricted width that you have on mobile device. It probably is easier to read on that device, but nonetheless, I think it is something that could be improved on this landing page. Now, next here, we see that get a 30% solar tax credit. So referencing a potential saving that could come through to the potential purchaser of this. On other iterations of the landing page here, we see that we have a 5,000 5,005-star reviews mentioned. We also see on this landing page, we see best company. So that does, in some ways, this logo reinforce this statement, but they've kind of lost the congruency here. Save more with the top rated and most experienced solar company. I think it still works well here, but they definitely do need to have it on here if I can speak properly today. Now, coming back to this one, they definitely have the financial offer here, and they also have a reinforcement of the solar tax credit here, which I find like really neat and tidy. We've got almost like a sub headline here, and then we have the evidence or the supporting argument for that headline just here. With this one though, we have the kind of like the sub headline of 5,000 5-star reviews, but we move into a financial offer. I think the financial offer is perfectly fine. They say from $79 per month. They don't exactly say that, but essentially it's a from kind of statement here. And I think it's perfectly fine. I think people are very interested in that price point, and albeit it's going to be the lowest, it's probably not going to be the package that's going to cater for most homes, but nonetheless, it adds a level of curiosity, adds a level of benefit as well to the end user in order for them to generate a lead, generate a click to their ad, and so on and so forth. As we scroll down, we see SunPower has been leading the solar industry for 36 years. Now, this is one of the points here that they do kind of well, that they do actually say that we've been leading the solar industry for 36 years, and then they add some evidence to support that. So here they say that, again, they've been doing for 37 years. And we're the only US solar company that has lasted longer than our 25-year warranty. Now, I think that this sentence here is an interesting value proposition that could be tested up here. Now, I think it could go a long way to help substantiating this and moving back to the other landing page, this as well. If not just a standalone value proposition, and to be used within their marketing creatives as well to substantiate that we are long-term, you can trust us in the long term, and many people have trusted us in the past that are just like you. And this is this particular angle of we've outlasted our warranty is something that helps substantiate that to you as a prospect looking at us as a potential vendor for your solar package. Next, we see like a visual representation of a comparison chart. So we see the SunPower system here versus conventional home solar. This is always going to be favorable. I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with some of these. The reason being is that I think when you have all green ticks and it's all like red crosses here, you're kind of like painting yourself in too much of a light that you are the best and no one else comes close, and don't trust anyone else, and etc. And it looks a little bit fake. It looks like you've manipulated, and generally these are manipulated in some way, be it the phrasing, the points that they bring up. So potentially this isn't all the points that someone should be considering when considering a solar package for their home, but these are the points that they're making because they're favorable to the company. And moving down to the final section of this website, we see another call to action that we can enter here. We see two emotional references here about some of the potential conversations that are happening in the prospect's mind. That one is energy rates are skyrocketing. Now, not to get political, but inflation across the world is rising. So this is definitely something that is hitting people really hard in their pockets. And I think it is a fine angle to play upon. You can also play upon this within your ad creatives as well. I think it works well, or better yet, actually know it works well. I've got some solar clients themselves that are targeting this angle around the rising of energy prices. Some have hit a particular political note within it, and it can be a little bit funny at times with getting those ads approved, but when they are approved, they definitely do pull much better if you get them to the right audience. So if you're having like a Democratic kind of appeal to this, you show that to Democratic people. If you have a Republican feel, you show that to the Republican side. So again, that personalization, I think it's definitely worthwhile to have like a Democratic kind of ad and a Republican ad, show the Republican to the Republican group, the Democrat to the Democratic group. You're kind of like covering all bases and somewhat being politically neutral as well. So, and then that goes for anyone around the world as well. So I'm just referencing the United States, albeit I'm Australian, but most people know a little bit about the political landscape in the United States at the moment. The next one is power outages. And I've seen this time and time again. It's a really, really strong motivator for states that do have power issues, Texas being one, Texas probably being the best known outside of the US. And it's definitely something that's particularly interesting because it can leverage onto battery packages, which is a financial transaction upgrade. It increases the average transactional value of the prospect. So it's a real natural fit that Texans save money on your energy, but also we have the capacity to help you with the power outages, and in the ad creatives and landing pages, etc. It can produce a slightly more qualified prospects. In states where that's not the case, you can't target that kind of same angle, that emotional angle of being irritated and pissed off with power outages. So flipping the switch now and having a look at Google Ads. Now, Google Ads, great platform for solar, like really good platform for solar. And towards the end of this, I'll have to talk about like potentially some things that these guys could be doing with YouTube. So moving on to their landing pages. So their landing pages are very much personalized. So it's either mostly down to the state level. In this case, it's down to a city level, Los Angeles being a massive state, and that's fine. They also have a particular reference to San Diego here. And so what they're doing is creating landing pages down to the geography of the individual, down to the city level or down to the state level. So it's probably obvious, but New York people, see a New York-based ad within Google Ads, then they see a New York-based landing page. Now, they're very, very similar, of course. So we see this one here, very, very similar to the Facebook, just a slight image change, but we see a lot of the same stuff. And this time we see Los Angeles. This one here is California. We see California. So very, very similar stuff to the Facebook landing page. And, you know, we don't have to talk about the landing page, but this level of personalization, if you are a singular state solar company, definitely you target the biggest cities, personalize your ad creatives, both within Facebook and at the Google Ads level, and have those ads flow onto a personalized landing page. So having a look at their Google Ads here, we see financial-based offers. We see 55% more powerful solar panels. Again, that's going to be a little bit unsubstantiated on the landing page, unfortunately, but that's the claim that they're making. And there's probably some evidence to suggest that it's doing well based upon how their marketing's laid out. I can see that they're pretty well measured. They definitely could be doing some things a fair bit better, but they're reasonably well measured. So this is likely going to be a headline that's pulling reasonably well for them. And they have to be using responsive search ads at some level. So, you know, that's why we're seeing some overlap. But we see personalization here in terms of solar in California. And we just see that a lot of this is around the financial aspect. And there is a heavy motivator for the financial aspect within solar. Obviously, it's particularly like financial motivated in terms of like cutting costs. There is the green thumb element and the environmental element. In my opinion, that doesn't pull anywhere near as well as the financial kind of offering that solar has. So not only the financial offering of potential savings, but you know, getting into solar for $75 per month, $0 down. It's like an all-encompassing kind of a financial offer that I'm speaking about. The next one is that they have that offer again about finding out how much you can save with solar. It's very much a pressing issue, or maybe not issue, but a pressing question within the prospect's mind. And their ads are catering for this curiosity that the prospects have. So we see here, find out how much you can save with the most powerful home solar system in the world. So moving on to their keywords, these guys have been running for a very long time. So their Google Ads campaign is going to be pretty well drilled down and pretty well dialed in. Now, we do see some areas for improvement 100%. Now, the other aspect that we should consider here is that they definitely do have a lot of overlap. Ahrefs isn't the all-encompassing, perfectly accurate tool that we all wished it would be. And I'm not affiliated with these guys by no means. So we see solar panels, it's referencing Texas, but definitely they're going to be seeing solar, so the keyword phrase solar panels in every geography that they serve. So the interesting thing where I can see that they can definitely have a lot of room for improvement is these Tesla-based keyword phrases, because they're sending these Tesla-based keyword phrases straight to a landing page that doesn't really cater for the intent. Now, save more with the only 5-star rated home solar company in New York. Now, that's relevant to the person's geography, but it's not relevant to the search query. Now, the search query intent is a much stronger motivator and should be catered for in a better way, and it should be at the top of the list in something to cater for that intent, because it is actually the behavioral motivator that led them to the search query, and that is the biggest lever that you have as a marketer to leverage upon. So this page that they're sending, this keyword phrase that they're sending traffic from should be going to a comparison, their solar panels to Tesla. Their ad creative should also be catering for this as well. So when it comes down to someone types in Tesla solar panels, so on and so forth, we see that this ad is, are you considering Tesla? You shouldn't. Be very contrarian. Like, before you buy Tesla solar panels, watch this. It could lead to a video, right? This is when you want to send that person to a landing page that actually has a favorable comparison of your product to the Tesla product, and it can transition them into the journey of that these people are definitely looking for a Tesla solar panel package, and you need to take them out of that path and onto your path. Now, you can't do that by just as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can't just throw that belief at them, or you can't just tell them you have to have this conclusion that my product's better. You have to lead them into that conclusion, right? And to the point where they conclude that themselves. They change their own belief. They change their own conclusion themselves. So a couple of minutes ago, I referenced YouTube. Now, I can't show you anything around SunPower that they're doing on YouTube, but YouTube is a fantastic way to generate really cheap, qualified leads for your business. Now, some of the things that these guys could be doing and you could be doing as either an agency or a solar company yourself is creating a very, very simple. So this is a service called VidTel. It's free to sign up. It's free to use. I'm not affiliated with them. Even if I was, I don't think I'd make any money anyway because they're free. So feel free to use them. And what it allows you to do is search for different phrases and find videos that are related. So I've just typed in solar and we can see a huge amount of solar videos. And I've got this ordered from the last 30 days, most views to least views. So if you just click one of the videos, it sounds like I'm selling VidTel at the moment, but they spent almost $1 million. They've generated 18 million views. So this potentially is a good video to learn from. And you'll find here that a lot of these videos are very, very simple. It's a voiceover with some stock photography, and it's just a moving kind of video. Now, the reason why YouTube is really good is that it does have an increased barrier to entry. You do need a video. Now, videos definitely aren't as hard to create as people think. And just as a quick caveat, if you'd like me to go through some solar videos that are related to YouTube and break them down, the psychology of them, drop a comment in the comment section below and I'd be more than happy to do that. But pushing through that comment is the barrier to entry, create a video. It's not as difficult as people think, but there are some really cool targeting strategies that you just cannot use on other platforms, including Facebook. One is I can target all the people on the YouTube platform that are making Google searches in relation to solar products, right? So this is a behavioral cue. It's not, I'm not assuming that these people are interested. They are interested. There's also affinity groups. There's also in-market audiences related to solar. So this is Google collecting all the information about everyone that uses pretty much the Google search engine, that use a Google Chrome browser, and also websites that have Google Analytics, and also using third-party data as well, and creating models of people so that they know who's in what market at any which time. So for you as a solar company or for any type of contractor, the in-market audiences, affinity audiences are filled with people that are in the market for solar right now. You can target these people on YouTube. Not only that, you can target specific YouTube videos and specific channels. So you can target videos that have a lot of views that are solar related, and the same with channels. Now, another strategy that is super cool that people don't realize about Facebook is that you can leverage your competitors. So for instance, you're a solar company doing, either well into 6 figures, if not well into 7 or 8 figures. You can leverage the traffic from these big guys, right? So SunPower, Sunrun, so on and so forth. These guys are spending well and truly 6 figures per month on their traffic. You can say people who visit their websites or particular pages of their websites, I want to show ads to them too. So it's another way to leverage the behavioral kind of cues that, it's a way to leverage behavior in order to make your marketing better. If you want to make a great deal more money with solar, or you're a contractor of another breed, that's perfectly fine. What you can do, and this is completely free, there's no obligation. I love these conversations. I love doing the free audits, but you can just come to my website. You can get a free audit. I'll have a look at all your marketing. I can put together a plan that's very somewhat similar to how I presented this video. You can get that all completely for free. You and I can chat for 5 minutes. We might chat for 60 minutes. That's perfectly fine too. And that's all completely free. If you want to have a chat about working together, again, I'll let you lead that conversation. All you have to do is just click this button at my website at brandhamel.com. There's a link in the description below. And we can have a chat. And if we work together, great. If we don't work together, that's perfectly fine. It's honestly some of the most enjoyable parts of my week is just talking to you guys who watch me on YouTube and just trying to help you out and offer as much value in those interactions. Be it whether we work together or if we don't work together, you get the exact same effort from my standpoint. So the other thing that you can do to help me out is smash that like and subscribe button. It does have a fair impact on the YouTube algorithm. It does have a fair impact on me to be able to like get the motivation as an introvert to make these videos. So I would appreciate it if you could do that for me. So until next time, guys, have a cracking day and a cracking week, and I will see you in the next YouTube video. Bye-bye.